In the quaint, predominantly white town of Maplewood, life unfolded at a pace dictated by familiar routines and tight-knit communities. For 14-year-old Emily Stevens, the world was painted in shades of comfort and predictability. She attended Maplewood High School, where she was a straight-A student with a passion for painting and a close circle of friends. However, one afternoon, everything changed in a way she never expected. Before we dive into this incredible story, comment below where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the story. Now let's get started. Emily's best friend, Sarah, was everything she admired: smart, funny, and fiercely loyal. They had been inseparable since elementary school, sharing secrets, dreams, and laughter that echoed through the halls of their school. They spent weekends at each other's houses, had sleepovers filled with popcorn and late-night movies, and supported each other through the ups and downs of teenage life. To Emily, their friendship was the highlight of her young life. However, Emily had always struggled with color perception. She was colorblind, which meant she saw the world through a slightly muted lens. Certain colors blended together, and she often found herself asking others to help identify hues or shades that seemed indistinguishable to her. Because of this, she had never considered Sarah's skin tone in the way that others might. To Emily, Sarah had always simply been Sarah, her best friend. One chilly autumn day, while they were walking home from school, Emily noticed something different about Sarah. For the first time, she registered Sarah's skin tone in a way she never had before. It was as if a light had suddenly illuminated the details of her friend that had been obscured by the simplicity of their bond. "Sarah, are you black?" Emily asked, her voice filled with confusion. Sarah stopped in her tracks, her eyes wide. Yeah? You didn't know?" "No, I just thought you were, different shades of brown," Emily said, her brow furrowing. "But how did I never realize this before?" "I've always been black, Emily. You've just never noticed," Sarah replied, her tone tinged with disbelief. "I guess I never really thought about it," Emily admitted, a mixture of embarrassment and shock washing over her. "But it feels weird, like I didn't think you were different from me at all." As they continued walking, an uncomfortable silence settled between them. Emily's mind raced. Had she been living in a bubble, blind to the differences around her? Had Sarah always been black, and she simply hadn't seen it? The thought left her feeling disoriented. "I don't know, Sarah," Emily finally said, trying to shake off the confusion. "It's just, I never realized." "Emily, it's not a big deal," Sarah reassured her, though her voice was shaky. "We're still friends, right?" "Of course. Why wouldn't we be?" Emily replied quickly, but inside she felt a knot tightening in her stomach. But as days turned into weeks, Emily's confusion morphed into unease. She found herself scrutinizing every interaction, every moment spent with Sarah. Her mind replayed the things she had learned from her family and friends, implicit biases that lingered like shadows, whispering that she should feel different, that something should change. One afternoon, while they were working on a school project together, Emily blurted out, "It's kind of weird being friends with a black girl." Sarah's expression hardened. "What do you mean by that?" she asked, her voice laced with hurt. Emily hesitated, searching for the right words. It's not something I'm used to. I thought I was just making a friend, not. You thought I was just another white girl?" Sarah's eyes narrowed, pain etched across her face. "I can't believe you would say that. I didn't mean it like that," Emily protested, her frustration mounting. "I'm just saying, it feels different now that I know." "You're saying you don't want to be friends anymore because I'm black," Sarah shot back, her voice rising. "Is that it?" "No. Yes, I don't know." Emily stammered, overwhelmed by the realization that her confusion was rooted in something darker. "Maybe I don't want to be friends with you anymore." "Wow," Sarah said, her tone dripping with disappointment. "I thought you were better than this." As Sarah stormed out of the room, Emily felt a wave of relief and guilt wash over her. The thought of severing their friendship was both liberating and horrifying. She never thought she would feel this way, but the societal conditioning she had absorbed was too strong to ignore. When Emily got home that evening, she burst through the door, ready to vent about her confusing day. "Mom, you won't believe what happened. Sarah is black, and I didn't even know." I mean, it's disgusting being around a black person. I can't believe I was friends with her. Emily's mother turned around, her face a mask of confusion. Emily, what are you talking about? Sarah, my best friend. She's black, and I didn't even realize until now. Emily exclaimed, her voice rising in frustration. Okay, her mother said slowly. And I can't be friends with her anymore. It's just wrong. Emily's heart raced as she spoke, her stomach twisting with unease. Emily, that's a horrible thing to say, her mother replied, her tone serious. You can't judge someone by their skin color. That's not how we raised you. But Mom, it's just so weird, Emily argued, throwing her hands up. She's different from me. Different how? Her mother pressed, eyebrows raised. You're both kids, you're both girls, you both like the same things. That's not the point, Emily shouted, frustration boiling over. She's black. I can't believe I didn't see it before. Her mother stepped closer, her expression softening. Emily, can I tell you a secret? She said gently. What? Emily snapped, feeling defensive. You're black too, her mother replied, confusion etched on her face. You always have been. Your father and I are both mixed race. You've inherited traits from both of us. Emily's world tilted on its axis. What? I'm black. But how? I look like you. Her mother sighed, taking Emily's hands in hers. You have light skin, but you carry the heritage of both sides of your family. It's important that you understand this. It doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is who you are inside. As the weight of her mother's words sank in, Emily felt the pieces of her identity starting to fall into place. The shock left her reeling, but a sense of clarity began to emerge. She had spent so long viewing the world through a lens of ignorance, and now she realized her own biases had clouded her judgment. But I thought I was just white, Emily whispered, her voice trembling. You're more than that, Emily, her mother replied softly. You're a beautiful blend of cultures, and that's something to embrace, not fear. You have a chance to stand by your friend and learn from her experiences. Taking a deep breath, Emily felt the tension within her begin to dissolve. I was so confused, she admitted, tears welling in her eyes. I didn't know how to process it. Her mother wrapped her arms around her, comforting her. It's okay to feel that way, but it's how you choose to respond that matters. You can choose to support Sarah, to learn and grow. It starts with understanding and compassion. The next day at school, Emily sought out Sarah, her heart pounding. She spotted her sitting alone on a bench, staring at the ground. Taking a deep breath, Emily approached, unsure of what to say. Hey, Sarah, she said softly. Sarah looked up, her expression a mixture of anger and hurt. What do you want, Emily? She asked, her voice cold. I wanted to apologize, Emily said, her voice steadying. I was wrong to say what I did. I've been confused and scared, but that's no excuse. I never should have treated you that way. You were pretty awful, Sarah replied, crossing her arms. I thought we were friends. I want to be friends, Emily insisted, her heart racing. I just learned something important about myself. I'm mixed, and I want to learn more about my heritage, and I want to support you. Sarah studied Emily for a moment, her expression softening slightly. You really mean that? I do, Emily said earnestly. I want to understand and help others see that it's not about the color of our skin, but about who we are inside. As they sat together, the tension between them began to dissipate, replaced by the warmth of understanding. They spent the rest of the afternoon talking, reconnecting as they shared their thoughts and feelings. From that day on, Emily was determined to embrace her identity fully. She and Sarah became even closer friends, collaborating on projects that celebrated diversity and inclusivity. Emily learned to advocate for her friend and others like her, striving to make Maplewood a more accepting place. In the weeks that followed, Emily discovered new strengths within herself. She became a voice for change, spreading awareness in her school and community. The journey was not always easy, but with Sarah by her side, she felt empowered to confront the biases that had once clouded her judgment. Their friendship became a beacon of hope, demonstrating that understanding and compassion could break down walls and build bridges. Together, they navigated the complexities of race and identity, proving that love and acceptance could triumph over ignorance. As Emily painted her world anew, she realized that colors were not merely about appearances, but about the connections and relationships that brought depth to life. and with every stroke of her brush, she celebrated the beauty of diversity and the strength of her friendship with Sarah. In the end, Emily discovered that sometimes it takes a shocking revelation to truly see the people we love and appreciate them for who they are, flaws, differences, and all. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I put a lot of love and care into telling these important stories, and your support means the world to me. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Have a blessed day.